It's the fuck is this? The Mead for Metal podcast.
It's Friday. It's like it has undertones of happiness, it sounds like. But really, well, Pelican's always a...
I'm starting to feel like 2024 is the year of the riff.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Both live and on your highest fidelity sound formats.
It's like every Friday there's some I was like, what the fuck is this? Whether it be some we just recently encountered, that just got released today, or some shit from, like 3 years ago, or whatever the case might be. 31 years ago, maybe. I don't know. Pelican. They dropped... well, they call it an EP. It's 2 songs. I don't know if that really makes for an EP.
Yeah,
really.
I would say they released 2 songs.
Yeah. Back in the days of the ancient days of the 45, that'd be an A-side, B-side, motherfucker. That ain't an EP.
Yeah, that's a single and a song that's probably not going to be very popular. Yeah, both songs. The second song, I can't remember the name of it offhand, but that one was okay. It's good.
No,
man, that Adrift is fucking
that's
woo boy.
So yeah, search. That's your homework for the weekend is Pelican Band Adrift.
Get off your ass.
That's all you got to do. Just those 3 things. YouTube will take you right to it.
This episode brought to you by YouTube. More ways than one.
God damn, apparently. I don't mind. There's a lot of bad shit going on with a lot of tech companies lately, but I'm not going to talk shit about Google because I really like YouTube. So
yeah,
it works for all the shit that I require. I had somebody the other day, I was talking about, I said, man, I got to get rid of Netflix. I picked it up to watch a fucking series. And it is not beneath me to go ahead and just dump that shit like a bad habit. And this person said, oh man, Netflix got so much good shit. What are you doing? I'm going to go back to YouTube because that's where I belong. If I want to watch how to make a fucking hatchet, it's got that.
Or
if I want to listen to
one.
Metallica and do an entire marathon, I can do that. I want to see some live performances from dead artists they've been gone a long time. Got that. I want to watch old ancient-ass dusty commercials. Got that. I mean, it's...
Got it in spades.
Now, if you're looking for movies and shit, no, YouTube's premium's not going to get you that. But it does get you just nonstop listening joy with no goddamn commercials.
For the low price of $12.99.
So how the fuck y'all doing today anyway, huh?
They never answer when we ask them. Oh, you're asking me.
I was asking, oh, that's right. There's no Krista this time. So.
Oh, yeah.
How are you doing today, sir?
Well, thank you for asking. Shit, I'm doing all right. A little fuck of a week.
How goes things, those with the clean living?
God. Shit, I know that ain't me, right? Yeah, shit's been all right. Like I said, a little fucky of a week, but it's over. It's over. I made it. I'm here again. Another week down.
I would like to complain about mine, but I shouldn't because it really, in the grand scheme, wasn't bad. But man, I know almost everybody I know had a bad week this week.
Yeah, fuck it. It happens.
I know why yours was bad because you got scammed again.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, not to completion. That's kind of a gross
you
word
get
to
hit
use.
once a year.
Yeah, once a year. 2 out of the past 3 years, it's happened 3 times. And the first time, totally my fault. Got past a fake $100 bill from a very menacing gangster guy.
One you wouldn't want to hold it up to, for...
No, not one. I'd be like, you know what? I'm just going to take this over here and, if we call the cops, we call the cops, whatever. And then about 6 months later, that dude got put in prison for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on his girlfriend or something.
It's called fucking karma.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, man, that could have been me. I'd be like, sir, this looks like you made it out of notebook paper.
Unless it's on the lips, and then it's Carmex. But yeah, that's
yes.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Carmex.
Is that shit still around?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, well, goddamn! Look at that.
Right here.
Okay.
It's right here in your life.
I've been a Burt's Bees boy for about fucking 15 years at a minimum.
Yeah, I like this shit because it's it's medicated. Just got what the fuck camphor in it.
Right. Give you a little
and
zing.
A little bit of that white petroleum.
A bit of that,
the good
that White Lotus.
Make the lips feel good.
It will absolutely make them tingle.
It does. That's how you know it works, like Head and Shoulders. Wait, hold on. Head and Shoulders didn't tingle. Which one tingled? Selsun Blue.
Look at you.
I know, right? Well, I watched a lot of game shows as a kid.
That's true. Selsun
This
Blue's
side
where you're gonna
tingles.
find it.
Head and Shoulders doesn't.
Yeah.
That's how you know it works.
Ancient Chinese secret. Oh, that's something different. Yeah. Selsun Blue, the San Francisco treat.
I wouldn't eat it. Might start tingling in other areas that shouldn't tingle.
Yeah. Probably shit run like shit through a goose for like a week and a half.
But hey, you'd be dandruff free in your cornhole.
Well, there's that, I guess. I guess that just might be a good clean out for some of you.
And who doesn't want to get rid of that problem?
So here we go. Let's move on, huh?
That's what happens when Chris ain't here. We just talking about butt damage.
God damn it.
Creamy dog shits.
Anything interesting come up for the week, I guess. And the only reason I'm bringing it up, because clearly whenever I bring up shit like that, it's because I got something to say. But I'll just go right into it. So there's a weird thing that came up back when I was in my early fucking 20s and serving in the Marines. And when that was the case, I didn't encounter anything new or cool. I got the Black album about 93. And it came out, 91?
91.
Yeah, so it was 2 years. Because that's what happens when you're in the military. You can't really focus on a lot of shit, or back then. Now I'm sure you can. But back then you were kind of at the mercy of Armed Forces Radio and Television Service. So, and they're not adding Metallica's Black album. They're not going to add anything by fucking Aerosmith, who they had a banger that came out also in 91, I want to say.
Yeah, I think that was Get a Grip.
Yeah.
I think.
So really, really big things came out. I get out going, what the fuck is this? And there was so much, and that was kind of at the height of, like, if you're into pop, Dave Matthews was, that was when his first album dropped, right when I got out.
Fuck yeah, okay.
The Hootie, if you're into like pop, Hootie and the Blowfish, before Hootie started trying to ruin rock and roll songs. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was coming out right then, and that's not to say. And that was when Stone Temple Pilots put out Purple. I mean, if we're trying to get really on track with what we're about,
right?
There was a lot of really good shit. Just as things were winding down with Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, because Chris Cornell was going to go off and make his own money, which is realistically that's what the band should have told his widow. Like, go collect that money he made elsewhere. You can't do that. Oh, sorry.
Well, best of luck to you in life.
And I'm not saying she deserves nothing, but to demand a full chunk of what if Chris was still alive. Well, if Chris was still alive, they'd be still putting out music and making money. So, I don't know. It's an unpopular opinion.
Oh no, but it's. I feel like it leans on the side of righteousness. I mean, goddamn, They've said that they have material that they would love to release.
But they can't.
Because of her.
Yeah.
It's like, God, that's bullshit.
So just as grunge was kind of starting to hit its slide, Alice in Chains had another good year and a half, 2 years maybe, before Lane decided that he was a shitty bandmate. So, yeah, I'll wear that. I don't care. So what I found this week, God damn it, it's a weird, convoluted aside, but so we fast forward to 2023.
And here we are.
And my ass, we're in 24, but
oh, no shit.
My ass goes out and buys a PlayStation 5, primarily because I wanted to play a cool-looking sci-fi game that I was really, really kind of into called CyberPunk 2077. Now, to go down the nerd corridor here, back in the late 80s, a guy by the name of Michael Pondsmith came up with a tabletop game, role-playing game called CyberPunk. And he promptly then put it out as CyberPunk 2013. Then put it out as CyberPunk 2020. And just recently released, by recently I mean 2020, put out CyberPunk Red. And that is where the video game came from. So it's CyberPunk 2077. And I take everything at face value. It's like, all right, some shit I didn't really know anything about. I was in the Marines, man. I wasn't, keeping track of what cool tabletop games were out in 88.
Facebook page to follow?
No. Well, so what ends up happening, I go down this weird little rabbit hole of shit involving the video game. I really enjoy it because it really spoke to a lot of issues I was really facing, last year. And,
Fair? Yeah, actually, that's very fair.
And it kind of really helped me kind of sort some shit out. Yeah, a fucking video game, right? But I suddenly then I see this photo a couple days ago, and it's Billy Idol reading through a copy of Cyberpunk 2020.
Wow.
And I thought, well, this is clearly photoshopped. No, it was the same grain throughout. It was a early 90s photo, you know.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's bizarre. Was that guy like a weird early adopter of Pondsmith? No. But it turns out, well, kind of, but it turns out really what he was into, he ended up getting into a motorcycle accident. He was supposed to be doing all kinds of cool fucking musical things, some collaborations there.
Yeah, I remember that vaguely.
And he was also supposed to be in Terminator 2. He was supposed to be the bad guy, Terminator. Well, he gets into a motorcycle accident, so they give it to another guy who's actually an actor.
Hey,
so
Robert Patrick. I think the right thing.
Yeah. But dude gets in a motorcycle accident and he's fucked up. He's in a hospital bed for a couple months. And he broke his femur. Yeah. The unbreakable bone. Yeah.
Woof.
So Billy Idol's laid up and has like this big fucking piece of gear on his thigh where the femur break was at, and it's sending little small electrical impulses through there to keep his leg muscles kind of operating so they don't atrophy.
No atrophy, right?
And a music journalist comes in and interviewed him and shit like that. And on his way, he's like, yeah. He said, wow. He said, that's kind of cool. He said, you look like a cyberpunk. And Billy Idol said, huh?
Wait, what?
Which began a weird cosmic bunny hole for that guy. And he goes down this crazy, crazy path of cyberpunk had been around as a genre of shit, a cultural genre since the 80s. Realistically, a lot of your synthwave stuff was kind of inspired by a lot of this. Because when you get around to it, it's like, oh, cyberpunk. Oh, I get it. Cybernetic and punk music. No, hold on. It's cybernetics. It is also psychedelics, and it is punk.
Right.
And so have this fucking bizarre aesthetic. And Billy Idol went down at hook, line, and sinker, and started like reading everything. And the guy was a voracious reader, apparently, not just when he was in a motorcycle accident, but that time and beyond.
That's all right.
And starts really, really kind of getting into it. But everything hits at just the right time. It's 1992, and he's living in Los Angeles, and the L.A. riots were going on at the time, and shit. We were flying cap over that, so I find that kind of an interesting little layer there. But still, he kind of embraces the technology of the time. I didn't realize Pro Tools went all the fucking way back to 1992. Now, granted, it was owned by somebody else. I mean, it's, since then it's been, I'm actually not sure how many times it was acquired, but I know where it's at now. And it is your marquee top of the line shit. We don't use it because it ain't free.
It ain't free at all.
It is a long way from free. But one day we'll get Pro Tools. But for now, we'll just stay with what we got.
We love you, Audacity.
So Billy Idol figures out, wait a minute, we're living in a time where I can do all this shit at my house. And he had dumped his previous guitar player, picked up a new guy who had ended up sending him all of his guitar parts, which I'm sure wasn't a small file to send back in 1992. But anyway, dude puts it all together in his living room of his apartment, without the use of big label or anything, and puts out an album I had never heard of. And I'm not a Billy Idol fan. Let's get that straight. But there's some shit I really like. I like 6, 7 of his songs a lot. Dude puts out an album in 1993 titled CyberPunk.
Yeah.
And he puts in a floppy disk in it with a whole bunch of shit that everybody does nowadays. Whenever you get like, all the making of and all the behind the scenes shit and everything else and blah, 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 this dude fucking put it on a floppy. And it was included, it was included, in your album purchase. And also he put his email address right on the album cover. It's like, man, if you guys got any thoughts on kind of the cyberpunk genre,
I got an email address.
Anything, and the dude would respond. Now, keep in mind, this is 1993. probably not a lot of fucking emails coming in necessarily.
Yeah, goddamn. I didn't have a Hotmail account till 95, 96. I only used it when I was at the library.
Yeah, I think 90. I might have had one in late 94, but probably 95. But
Yeah.
that's kind of where it all stands with this. So that comes out in 93. Man, I'm not even in the accessible point until 2 years later. And by that time, Billy Idol's career was done because of that record.
Yeah.
He got dropped by his label. Of course, then Karma comes around and his label disappeared. They're now owned by, I think, Columbia or somebody like that.
Well, hey, maybe Billy was keeping him afloat.
But here's the weird thing. So if you're into some real synthwave 80s, but a little more riffy at times.
Sometimes, yeah.
Check it out. There are 20 tracks. Now, don't get too excited because there are a shitload of interludes and also an intro and an out.
Yeah, and Billy Idol ain't doing 8-minute songs.
No, but it is like about an hour and 12-minute album. So check that out. That's one I stumbled on this week, and immediately I kind of went down a weird little bunny hole myself on Billy Idol's take on it. And then now I'm kind of sucked in. So I went and bought this fucking book from 92, I think, that was published. And all this other shit is really kind of all the definitive how-to cyberpunk,
How to do cyberpunk.
And it's mostly all about, about a rebellious nature and utilization of technology to try to bring down the evil around us and doing a lot of drugs. So
Perfect.
it is certainly that's certainly a take. And Billy Idol's problem too was because in 92, man, this guy is seeing everything he held dear with rock and roll disappearing to grunge. And grunge is about everything but that shit, or at least they claim. I mean, now everybody in grunge that we know of that had a name was probably on heroin at the time. But
sure, yeah,
because not a lot of motherfuckers made it out of that decade. But
yeah, barely. I mean, let's see. Waylon and Lane made it out. Lane bit it pretty soon after.
3, right?
Yeah,
yeah, and Waylon died probably about 5-6 years ago now, something like that.
Shortly after, remember when I showed you that video?
Yeah.
Of him fucking singing in that little small club, and he didn't even look like he knew he was there.
Yeah, probably didn't.
So it was an ear monitor thing. That's a drug thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that dude's singing about a half step off.
Yeah. And not even really just going.
And I'm not even sure I watched the whole video because it was
hard to watch.
It was troublesome.
Even harder now. There's like, well, shit, that dude did not live longer after that.
Yeah, but little did we know, grunge was only going to be around about 3-4 years, really.
Yeah, lives on in our hearts now.
Before it kind of really, because Alice in Chains was done, Pearl Jam started playing dog shit. Soundgarden again, Chris Cornell went off to do his own thing. Screaming Trees, Lanigan never really had a real. He became more famous in retrospect.
Right.
Almost everybody out of the grunge era, man.
Mark Lanigan, he recently passed away.
Yeah. Now that was one guy that was not on heroin. So.
No, he just liked to drink, I believe.
Yeah. But I mean, out of all of that, I mean, you start going down that whole path, and by 96, 97 at the latest, grunge was done.
Yeah,
probably
new
96.
New metal started popping its head and rap, like hard, like rap metal.
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit, shit like that.
And that was almost, I think, in some ways, and I don't want to give too much credit to where it's due because I might be wrong, and you'll correct me if I am, but that's where it felt like Anthrax kind of came into play and really kind of influenced. Out of the late 80s, early 90s, they influenced the music of the late 90s and into the 2000s. And not just them. But.
They just, oh, man. Late 90s, early 2000s. They didn't even have Belladonna with them.
No, but when they put out, that eponymous album of theirs from '89, man, that was the shit. It was like, man, this is heavy as shit, and there's weird rapping in it, and all kinds of shit going on. And then there's a direct influence on Korn.
Sure.
Out of all of that, but Korn also takes a little bit of influence from somebody else. I think that kind of had a similar idea and vibe, and that was Linkin Park.
Yeah, well, shit, corn been around since 94, 93.
I only know their shit from like the 2000s and beyond.
Yeah, they've been around. Their self-titled albums turned 30 this year.
Damn.
They've been around a while. I was jamming them in high school.
I bet again, but that's a blind spot for me too. New metal, that's always a blind spot.
No, or you come to me with that.
I'm a little well. That's why I turned it over to you on that shit. But truly, that's you started really seeing a lot of infusion of what they called urban music back then, which is rap. Mixing it in.
Yeah.
Now they did pull it down a notch. It wasn't really the thrash that Anthrax had.
Oh no, there was no. I mean, it was still heavy, but it wasn't fast.
Yeah.
At all.
And I think that was a pretty cool fucking evolution.
Sure. They did bring the noise with fucking. Oh God, come on, Easy and not Easy, fucking.
Oh, NWA.
No, God damn it. Why am I wanting to say Jazzy Jeff? That ain't right either.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
The Yeah Boy band.
Yeah, boy.
I don't know why I'm having
Not
this
Run
brain
DMC.
fart. No, but before
although
that,
they did that
with
fucking
Aerosmith, yeah.
crossover with Aerosmith and really, really capitalized on because Aerosmith, man, they were dead in the water at that time. And I think that Run DMC gave them a little fresh breath, kind of got them moving into the shit that they did into the 90s.
Right.
Slippery When Wet and Get a Grip and all
Look
that.
at it, Slippery When Wet, that's a Bon Jovi album.
What the fuck's the one I always mess up on? That's the one that comes out after Get a Grip.
Permanent Vacation?
See,
Pump? No, Pump, that was mid-'80s.
yeah, no, Pump was along. Yeah, hell, what was that? I need Aerosmith albums because
Get a Grip, that was the big one.
yeah. Is that the one that had God, fuck? They won so many Grammys and shit on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were getting nothing but I guess nothing but airplay at that time, much as a pop band would.
I still do today.
Okay, goddamn it, Get a Grip was the one I was thinking of because I was going to say what's the one with like the Holstein on the album cover.
Get a Grip.
Pump was 89.
Ooh, goddamn.
Because Pump had one on it that went pretty far. A little south of Sanity. I think they were already done with the wave by then. But yeah, so at least one really solid Aerosmith record out of that. But again, radio airplay in those days, radio was king. Even though MTV tried to say it wasn't, but even MTV knew that music is unsustainable, so they had to get a MTV Cribs and all the good shit of the days.
The death of fun. Goddamn.
The Duck of Death.
Duck says I.
Anyway, let's get to it. We got a Mead update. Did some bottling.
Worked.
Did some bottling the other day. Troublemaker is now in the bottle, fully corked, not labeled. That's some shit I blew off doing today.
There you go.
Give it a thought about it. Nah, I ain't doing that. I mean, if I'm at home and I'm going to go to town, yeah, okay, that's on me. But I would only think of it like when it's like, well, I'm not planning on leaving the house the rest of the day. Ah, shit.
God damn.
So all we got left to do is get the labels printed, get them on the bottles, and get the caps on them and shrink them, and we're good to go. So
love that shit.
Those of you that like to support what we do, you know what to do.
Come over here and again and buy it.
I'll just leave it at that. So
do it.
Come over here and just throw us a donation.
Come over here and put it on the table on me.
We got that. We got another batch we're going to be doing, and it's going to be another like batch one sweet mead run. I think, unless we want to try to do some kind of a fruity one with the sweet mead, but I think that might really create. I don't know. Might create a kind of a little too sweet for our meads.
And we're not. That's really not something we're known for.
No, I prefer a dry mead. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, the next one up, probably another run of the batch one with kind of a sweet to it, and then behind that, we're going to run another batch right behind that and series, and that one will be a batch one that we'll put into the barrel and it'll turn into long ships. So.
The barrel batch. I love doing those.
Yeah, I just hope that we have enough that'll hold out for a while. God damn, I might have to look into picking up some more honey here pretty fucking quickly.
Well, that new deal we got that we used to bottle.
We got a bottling rig. The only difference in it has a spigot on it. That's it.
Yeah. But when we do the barrel batch, we'll need that siphon.
Yeah. No, there's no fucking possible way to. No, fuck that. I mean, there's a way, but why make life hard on ourselves, huh?
Yeah. We got the tools. We got tools to make life a little easier.
So so the next 3 batches of mead are basically figured out. Now, we need to do the sweet mead because I've got the yeast. It's been on hand since December or January. And yeast it'll stay good. I don't know liquid yeast. I'm not sure on the shelf life on it. It's got to be good for at least a few months. So it behooves us to probably get that shit going.
Oh hell yeah, it ain't getting better.
Yeah. So that's the mead update for this time around.
There you go. There you go, bitches.
All you bitches. Speaking of bitches,
you get me every time with that shit.
I look forward to it. We do we want to get the lowdown on what's going on? Going down. Wow, I even fucked that up.
There you go.
Yeah. Let's get the lowdown. What's going down with LJ?
LJ.
Give me my need for metal. Yeah! Woo! Welcome back to the metal portion of the Mead for Metal podcast. Me, LJ. You guys ready to rock. And have I got a list for you today? There might be some good, might be some bad, might be some awesome, but we won't know until we crack on, will we? So let's go ahead and go head first into this. Hold on to your butts. Now, the first band, figuratively and literally on this list, is Agonista with their album Gray and Dry. They are a hardcore punk band, so yeah, that's something cool I haven't heard in a while. It's basically punk, but with like death metal roaring, and it's fucking awesome if you're into that sort of thing. It's really, really niche, I think, even though it's one of the oldest forms of metal. So yeah, you gotta check it out. These guys bring it home. Now, while I may sound a little bit forlorn there at the end of that sentence, it's mostly because their album is called Gray and Dry. But, I mean, there's probably a reason for it. I mean, like, the next album that I'm about to mention has a shitty title, too. Invincible Shield. Okay, well, who's it by? Judas Priest? Yeah, no shit. Judas Priest has this awesome new album out, and it's got a shitty name. My opinion, of course. But, wow, like, you guys have come up with awesome names before. Painkiller, British Steel. What happened? Who named the album? But anyway, it sounds like Judas Priest, and I'm very proud of these guys. Are still fucking going after 50 years. So congratulations, Judas Priest, for, bringing it home and keeping it home. Right where it should be. And besides, let's be honest, I wouldn't trust anyone with my metal other than Judas Priest anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, let's move on. The next band on this list is called Meat Bodies. Yeah, I haven't mentioned them before, I don't think. The album is called, and I gotta get this right, Flora Ocean Tiger Bloom. I wasn't able to find very much about this band on YouTube, I guess because they're brand new with this album. But what I have heard so far, it sounds like... Okay, so remember whenever there was a type of rock that kind of was coming down from grunge, but right before nu metal took off? It was like smack dab in the 90s. You can't miss it. There was like some Jane's Addiction type of stuff. Green Day kind of did some of it. I don't know how to describe these guys. Other than they're not exactly metal, but they're like, what's the term? Alternative rock? I don't know. I was going to say alternative metal. I don't even know what alternative metal is. I've asked this question before on the show, but what does alternative mean? Not? Anyway, they're pretty good. But yeah, they're for a softer ear than what we've been used to on this list so far. So if you're into something that's just kind of chill, then yeah, Meat Bodies. Flora Ocean Tiger Bloom. Check them out. Now, if you're new to the show, one thing you're going to catch on to about my review style is I usually gravitate towards bands with cool-sounding names or cool-sounding album titles. And usually, if you have a cool name that goes with the title, then that's even better. Such as the example presented with this new band that's coming out. Well, the new band is actually not new, but you know what I'm saying. On this list, Skeletal Remains is the name of the band. And here's the name of the album. Fragments of the Ageless. I couldn't have thought of a better one to go with. Skeletal Remains myself. They're a death metal band. They're pretty fucking fast. So yeah, man. Hell yeah. Thematicism or whatever. I don't know what it's called, but I definitely like the album too. I don't love it, but I mean, I'd listen to this at work or whatever. It's definitely something that would fill the eardrums with happy juice. Metal. I'm talking about metal. Yes, metal. Metal juice. And in case any of you are wondering, no, leaded water does not count as metal juice. Only this. Just this. Alright, that went from 0 to weird 100. Let's move on. Anyway, rounding out this list with this final band on here, I know, ending prematurely. I know. That's something I'm used to. Is the band Vlad in Tears, VLAD. And the album is called Relapse. My dog's jumping on me. So this band actually sounds straightforward like a classic heavy metal band. And I love the singer's voice, too. It's very much fitting to the band's tone. This is one of those examples of a band I like ending with the show on their note, because I think I'm actually going to go out and buy this one because it sounds really cool. Hell yeah. So that's your metal list for this week. Subscribe and all that other douchey shit if you haven't done so already, so you can catch up on more metal updates presented by yours truly. And let's go back to the discussions in the Mead Hall. Hi-oh, tinfoil, away!
It was quite a sight to see Charlie Higgins coming up the road carrying his champion hunting dog, Taters. She was about to have her first litter of pups, and Charlie was taking her to the vet when his truck broke down. I said, hop in. We'll get Taters there in plenty of time. We lit out across the country because it was closer. Well, sir, that International Scout of mine performed like a champion, too. It's got the V8 engine, and she'll climb just about anything you aim her at. International Harvester makes those Scouts rugged as a bear. I threw her an all-wheel drive, and we sailed through the bottom slick as a whistle. Well, Taters got to the vet on time, and I got one of her pups. And Charlie got a Scout of his own. You never know what's going to happen out where I live. Right, Scout?
That is LJ's pick for the week of Vlad in Tears. Riffy as shit. Again, going back to the 20,
Year of the riff.
24 is just, man,
Year
the
of the
Chinese might
riff.
call it the year of the monkey or the ox or the tiger. No, this year of the dragon.
You're Dagrin. Trogdor time.
It's the year of the riff. It's kind of bizarre we were all on the same page. LJ was talking also about kind of the end of grunge and what came after.
Yeah, kind of weird how that works.
I don't, man, I gotta say, late 90s, I really checked out. I was still listening to the first two albums by Pearl Jam at the time, because that was the only good shit that was around in the 90s that sounded like grunge. That and STP. Yeah. STP was the only ones that really still putting out work, but they themselves said, we're not really grunge.
And yeah, they changed their sound after that third album.
I don't know. That first album, Core, is a bad motherfucker, though.
Was that Tiny Music?
Yeah, now that one was already not grunge, man. I mean, that was already Waylon's like lounge singer kind of shit was like worked its way into there. Man, the DeLeo brothers like just spot on with their shit, but I wouldn't call it grunge.
Now we're talking about the one that doesn't beat his wife, right?
The DeLeos. Oof. Boy, Daryl gonna come find you, man.
Hey, he'll know which one I'm talking about. You know, I only heard about that the one time. I haven't heard anything else about it. It might already be quashed.
Yeah, but he was talking about, a period between grunge and new metal. Well, hell, that's what we were talking about a while ago, like 96, 97 through there, 98.
Yeah.
What the hell were you listening to at that time?
Reload. A lot of Reload. Actually, a lot of Load and Reload.
Yeah. Well, Metallica's your favorite fucking band, so why wouldn't you?
Yeah, and those are really the outside of shit that was introduced to me by my brother, those are the first two albums I went out and got myself. Like, had my own money, went to Alco, picked up Load, realized Reload came out about 2 months later, went back and got that. I'm trying to think, what else? Ugh, man.
I don't know. It was
Nothing good.
A little hard time in music, really.
Yeah, because I wasn't even big on Alice in Chains yet.
Yeah. I wasn't until, 2016, 17?
Yeah, there was no Tool yet.
Well, Tool had been around, but you just weren't into them.
Yeah, that's what I hadn't found them yet, really.
One of them was what, 96?
Ooh.
I'm gonna say.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
No, it took strippers to really get me to like Stinkfist, right in my dignity.
Well, yeah, Deftones, but then again, but that's the thing. They're always getting laid on them that they're new metal, and even though Chino's, man, we are not. But if you're going to get a venue or anywhere playing new metal, you're also going to hear Deftones.
Sure, fuck yeah. Well, their first two, Adrenaline and Around the Fur, those are very, very close. I still wouldn't call them new metal, but they're very, very close.
Yeah, man. That
Then White Pony came out. I was like, nah, motherfuckers, we are not new metal.
you know what they are? They're Deftones. That's what they are. There's nobody else doing it.
Everything after that, I mean, when you'd hear heavy shit on a new album, it was special.
Yeah.
Because then they started getting real moody, real atmospheric, fucking building landscapes.
Yeah, they're just
Loving that shit.
There just wasn't a lot of shit I was into right then. Incubus,
And really, music wasn't that important to me yet.
Man, it had been. It had been for a matter of 4 or 5 years after I'd got out of the Corps. But man, and it meant a lot. It meant everything. I think I might have worn myself out on it a little bit, and it was a time when there wasn't a lot of great shit. Sure. So pretty easy for me to ignore it. And I don't know, man. I kind of walked the fuck away from music for a long time because I wasn't into new metal either.
I want to say not until I got out of high school and figured out, this is going to sound shitty, but figured out online piracy.
Yeah.
To be able to download music and listen to it. Like, what the fuck is this? Like you read about a band in a hit parader.
Oh, you're talking about the not Napster. You're talking about the torrents.
That shit. I downloaded the new Metallica song while I was in high school.
Yeah,
I was one of those cunts. But they couldn't come and sue me because that IP address going to a SCU.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? Sue the SCU?
Lars gonna come find you.
Well, I'm surprised he did.
Shake you down for your milk money.
That's right, huh? What's up there, dudes? I'm gonna need some monies from you.
Getting shown up by a Dutchman.
The ultimate insult. Unless it's tennis.
French.
God damn it.
But in terms of new metal, so God, you had to have fucking got into what, 01, 02 probably?
Oh no, that shit, like, man, once I got $3 Bill, y'all, Limp Bizkit, Significant Other came out in 99. All right, you know what? No, I was balls deep in that shit. Korn, Fall the Leader and Issues came out. Limp Bizkit. I wouldn't call Fear Factory new metal, but
they're prog shit, isn't it?
Yeah, they're just more about speed and time signatures, but not really intricate nothing. They're riff.
Yeah, that's why they don't fall into the thrash category either. The speed's there, but
industrial metal. There's a lot of industrial in there.
Yeah, man, goddamn, I'm still just so happy Portnoy's back. That band.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck yeah. No, like I said, that puts him back in the bubble. Now, if we can get Labrie to get laryngitis and have it just be an instrumental evening with Dream Theater, I'll pay double.
I don't know about double, but I'll certainly go.
I'll pay double for that.
James Labrie's voice has. I think I bitched on the show enough about that guy. It just
hadn't aged well live.
Well, not even that. I didn't like him at his prime, and I'm sure he's no fucking better now.
It's when he tries to do the soaring vocal shit is when it gets a little like he sounds like a bird trying to get laid.
What is a new metal act that you were kind of a fan of that maybe was a little either obscure or people would go, oh shit, I wouldn't have thought that about you.
Mushroom Head. They're kind of more known now because they've been around over 20 years.
Yeah.
But no one gave them a chance. Like, oh, they'll wear masks, and there's like 8 of them. It's like a Slipknot band. That's another band I forgot to mention, Slipknot.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call them new metal at all. They're fucking heavy metal.
Yeah. You know what? I guess I do have to correct it because I did some thinking about it, and there was a new metal band I was into. I didn't classify them as such, but I think the world does, and it's Taproot.
That one's pretty obscure too.
Yeah.
They maybe had 2 hits.
Not many. There's not a lot.
And they were all on that album that had a poem on it.
Would you call
their first album?
I guess System of a Down would fall into the category, yeah? Or at least at the edges. They were just
weird.
Yeah.
They were just Armenian and weird. Fucking Surge sounds like a goat. I mean, dude, motherfucker can sing. I mean, that fucking Reigns of Castamere that he sings from Game of Thrones.
Right.
Does a hell of a job, but he's also a guy oh, that's Serge Tankian from fucking System. There's no mistaking it. Yeah. God damn. That first album, I would say, is new metal. Toxicity and Onward, the other two albums they made before they called it a career,
Sure.
fucking almost 20 years ago. Those are a little more their own bag, I say. Like, it's hard to put them in a genre outside of just metal.
What about it's like what was that? Today is the Day. Is that? I think they're on. I know they were on Reptile Amphetamine Records. I remember the label more than I do the band, but
I don't know if that's one I'm familiar with.
they. God damn it! They might have been kind of at a point of where by the very late 90s, 99, 98, 99. Man, you started. You saw the divergence. Now bands that went on to do some shit went the new metal route. If you went just nothing but really, really heavy shit, you're not going to have much of a crowd at that time.
Right. Now everybody looks at Slipknot. It's just like, oh, you could have done all right if you had a cool little gimmick.
Who would you rather see live? Slipknot?
Who's the other band?
Ghost.
Oh, God. Oh, Slipknot, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, let's then ramp it up like it's a game on Price is Right.
Slipknot moves on to the next round.
You've chosen Slipknot. So next up, who would you rather see live, Slipknot or Korn?
Korn.
Okay. Slipknot fell
Definitely,
pretty quickly.
Definitely Korn.
Which then that means then the next one of a band. It's just bands of the era. I'm not kicking you in the balls or nothing.
Oh, no, bring it.
How about, so let's see, you went with Korn. How about Korn and would you rather see Korn or Limp Bizkit in their prime?
Limp Bizkit in their prime.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I had to put that ad in them because nobody wants to see them now.
Funny thing is, I would see him primarily because Fred Durst's vocal stylings, that shit ain't gonna fall off because it wasn't that hard to begin with.
So then, if a show was announced tomorrow and you had to choose between, let's go ahead and keep it the way we've been going then. So you'd go with Limp Bizkit,
Yeah.
or Fear Factory.
Well, I've seen Fear Factory.
Did you see him with? Oh no,
Yeah,
shit.
2000
Okay.
on
Some
Gigantor
Mike-
when I saw Megadeth and Dream Theater. When I basically feel like I saw all those bands in their prime.
Right.
Because Fear Factory was there on the Archetype album, which was like their last great album. Dream Theater just put out Octavarium, which is my favorite album of theirs. And Megadeth was touring on a Greatest Hits album. So it's been like, oh, you're going to hear everything you like. Even though at the time that band was just Dave Mustaine and a couple hired guns.
Right.
Kind of like what they are now, even though they're, they got the guitar player from Winter Sun. Good to see that guy getting paid.
And I know that ain't Yari because he don't play no guitar.
No. He will in that Studio of Gold.
I was sitting back talking about how great YouTube was earlier in the show. They started running like Yari ads at me because they know what my listening taste is.
Fucking wankers.
And I immediately found the never send me the shit again button.
Yeah, snooze it for 30 days. Where's the forever?
Well, snooze is a Facebook function.
Oh, fuck, my bad.
I guess you survived the big Facebook shutdown of 2024, huh?
When did that happen?
I don't know, a couple of days ago.
Really?
Tuesday, Wednesday?
I read about it in the news. I didn't even know that shit happened.
Well, that ought to tell you all you fucking need to know right there, right?
Yeah, that's why I only update my photo with dead people.
God damn it. Anyway,
That's my job to the people.
how about bands by the numbers? And this is going to be an old one, so it might, because it stretches back into your pre-high school years, I think, to a degree.
I can do that.
3 Doors Down or 7 Mary 3.
Oh, I would.
Or Blink 182.
Or you
Or
can get rid of that.
Sum 41.
God
By the
damn,
numbers.
This is actually bands from like several different generations.
Yeah.
Let's see. Get rid of Blink 182 immediately. Get rid of. See, I'd like to see 3 Doors Down now. I wouldn't like to see.
Well, they don't have their original bass player, I think, right? Because he went to jail for like running over somebody when he was drunk.
Outside of
10 years
that,
ago or something.
that band stayed pretty whole.
Whenever you talk about Lubbock music, I always think about 3 Doors Down because I felt like they were passing through every like 3 or 4 months. Like, what the fuck? Why would I see them now?
Yeah. Well, yeah. But
Accessibility really breeds contempt.
well, if I had to pick between Three Doors Down and Five Finger Death Punch, I'm going Three Doors Down.
Okay. What about Avenged Sevenfold?
If I'm playing Guitar Hero,
Okay.
I'm
not going to throw those guys on around here for a random listen. Generally, I think there's one track. I think that's in whole.
And I know we got a listener that digs Avenged Sevenfold. I mean, they have songs I like.
Oh no, it's just not my fucking cup of tea.
Yeah,
That's all.
I'm not a big fan of the singer.
And I will say this: I figured out rock and roll in all capacities
Ain't noise pollution.
will never be a dominant format again. Like crushing it. It will never be it again. And I came to this realization when I found out there's a local radio station, and they were playing a lot of new metal, a lot of modern metal, and some classic rock. The elderly, the very same people that brought down Greta Van Fleet, like, man, they think they're Led Zeppelin. Them kids need a beating. You need a fucking beating. You like run around. Look, man, Led Zeppelin's so great. Led Zeppelin ain't done shit since 1978, even though In Through the Outdoor came out in 1980. Because their drummer died, and they decided we're good. We ain't going to do it anymore. They got together one time with John Bonham's kid, but for a fucking charity
That
thing.
Live Aid, right?
Yeah, but man, but that's it. So finally, some little asshole kids from Michigan, Greta Van Fleet, putting out some shit sounds just like Led Zeppelin, and the old people get angry, much as they did toward this local radio station of not wanting any of that modern stuff. I want classic rock. That's what I want. So that tells me rock and roll in all of its genres, and let's not shit ourselves. There's a fucking bunch.
Oh, yeah.
20-something, 30-something maybe, and
That
rock.
might even be on the low side.
And the sides cannot get the fuck along. So as a dominant, like, holy shit, you remember the 80s? We will never have that again. Because of the elderly, really. I would put it firmly on them. The old folks that, nope, this is the music I like. Don't you even look at it. I don't want you listening to it. This is my shit, and I don't want anybody sounding like it either. It's really gross and problematic.
You just got to wait for a certain generation to die off, is all.
No,
We're getting there.
Here we are. We're
getting
there.
close.
Well, I like to wink at people I see that are got me about 15, 20 years. Same with the store, and I
Hope you're enjoying your Roy Orbison albums, motherfucker.
don't you go enjoy that Led Zeppelin, huh? I'm gonna go and play the Greta Van Fleet, who will have a legacy that'll still be around in 10 years. I guess.
It would be like people bitching about Doom. Man, they just sound like Black Sabbath. If I want to listen to Black Sabbath, listen to Black Sabbath.
I've heard that before.
It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just because Black Sabbath is great. They're great. They're great. But
Well,
don't tell me doom metal is sucking their dick.
We had a friend of ours that, because I'd sent out a video in a group, but said, yeah, I kind of droned on a bit. Maybe it wasn't wrong. It was like if the Beatles covered
Typo covered Come Together.
No, it wasn't Typo, but it was if the Beatles were a doom stoner
Right,
act
yeah.
doing Come Together. Yeah, and it was like a 9.5 minute version of Come Together in a very doom style. I liked it the first time through. Second time through, like, I think I might be all right. But anyway, yeah, that kind of stuff. Like, well, why even put that stuff out? It's 9 minutes long, and or whatever, because that does seem to be. And not just from that friend of ours, but other fucking people. Like, man, why are doom songs so long? You have to understand, Brandon and I came out of the camp of folk metal, where it's weird if a song ain't at least 12 to 15 minutes long.
And even before that, prog. I mean, goddamn, Octavarium is a 12-minute song.
Even if you go back to the roots of prog and go to, like, with Yes.
Yes.
Rush. One of my favorite fucking Yes songs is like 15 minutes long.
Oh, Man of War has one song that's an hour long.
Well, let's not forget that in the grand scheme of things, Moon Sorrow has an EP because it's got 2 songs on it. but it clocks in about an hour 10.
So it's an EPLP.
It's an EP double album.
No shit. What was the this will be my last music question. What was the first album you were disappointed in?
Oh, wow. It would actually probably be one I had to actually spend my own money on is where I would
sure.
probably find. Like, I'm not disappointed in some shit my mother bought me, but
Right.
and I know what it is. And I know some people are going, huh? I thought you were a fan. And I am. We're talking about prog bands. The big daddy of them all out of Toronto, Canada. Rush.
I was going to say Bare Naked Lady.
They put out Hold Your Fire. And I was working at a car wash when that came out. I had a coworker. I was like, man, I'm just waiting to get paid, whenever the fuck payday was. And it was a couple of days away. I was like, man, I can't wait to get paid. And then I'm going to go buy that fucking album because I love Rush and blah, 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 blah. And I was a cat that actually, I liked Grace Under Pressure. Actually, Grace Under Pressure is one of my favorite albums of theirs. I really liked Power Windows. I mean, a lot of the shit that people didn't like about Rush in the 80s, when they kind of went with Signals all the way through, which is the album that followed up the one with Tom Sawyer on Moving Pictures.
Right.
Signals all the way up until Hold Your Fire. That actually is my favorite Rush shit. That's my favorite shit.
Damn.
I know, and a lot of people go, God damn, really? The synth era? Yes. Yeah, actually, the synth era. Absolutely. The best intro to a song ever, man.
Makes me want to play fucking hockey.
But, man, Hold Your Fire came out, and I had this coworker at this car wash, and dude's like, hey, man, he said, you want that? He said, I'll spot it. I'm like, huh? He goes, yeah, man, just throw me some cash when you get paid. Okay. And dude disappeared on his lunch break, came back and had it. And it was still in the plastic thing that, that cassettes come in, that, the store takes it off. So clearly, yeah, a little 5-finger discount there.
Yeah, technology, that was a hell of a thing back then.
And the dude hit me up for $10, which I think the cassette was like 12 or 14 or something like that. I don't know.
God damn. We bet you about paying $20 for a CD now.
Actually, I think it might have even been less. It might have been $8. I don't know. It was at a point, it's like, well, this fucking thing's not even a book. Okay. So I got really excited, like, fuck yeah, I've got this, and it's, because dude hooked me up prior to payday. I got it on release day.
Nice.
And, man, tore the fucking, the cigarette pack thing off of the cellophane or whatever, popped it right into, because I'd had a Ford Escort that had a fucking...
Tape deck.
Yes, had a cassette player in it. I was fucking living large back in the day. Popped that shit in immediately and went, oh. I thought, okay, hold on. This is Rush. You're not going to like their album on the first playthrough. You're not. I'm talking to myself. Some of you maybe. I don't know. Talking to myself. Hey, there's a Rush reference.
There you go.
Max Webster. And, because Getty and Alex had played on his record. But anyway, International Juveniles.
There it is.
But man, I did. I gave a listen through, and I was thoroughly disappointed. To the extent, I thought, man, I don't know. I'm gonna have to put this down for a minute and get like a week, maybe 2. Maybe 2 weeks would be good. And I went through it again. Didn't fucking like it. All the while, my brain trying to convince me that like, man, you do like this. I think it took me 6 months to actually like Hold Your Fire, but I really hate about 4 songs off of it. So, yes, that was my first fucking disappointment. And a very long, rambling story, but I feel like we had time. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, allow me.
Yes, sir.
Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
I got it down to 2. I guess they both kind of fit into different categories. Like, one is a release for a band that I wasn't super into. I enjoyed, I liked, I thought they rocked. Then the other is a band that I love and still love to this day. So clearly it didn't break my heart too bad. The first was Yield by the mighty Pearl Jam. I had ideas. I feel like if I had known Vitalogy came out in between those, I probably wouldn't have been that surprised. But picking up Yield at the local record store here in town, playing that CD in my Sega CD. I guess I was young where I just wanted to expect basically everything off of 10 and verse, even some of verses. I enjoyed verses. But at the end of the day, that fucking album ruined my fandom of Pearl Jam. It's like, I don't think there will be shit I like after this.
My problem with Yield, because I wasn't really up on it, because if I'm talking about favorite albums of all time and least favorite of all time, Pearl Jam, fucking congratulations, you made fucking both lists.
Right.
10, landing on one of my favorite albums of all time, and Vitalogy falling on the fucking worst of all time. In there, right in there. There were about 3 tracks on Vitalogy I liked. The rest of that album is dog shit. And I'm sorry, I will stand behind that. If you like it, hey man, do you.
More power to you. But the other one,
Yeah, I was going to say there's a second.
the other one, apologies in advance to LJ. Saint Anger, man. Saint Anger.
First one to disappoint you.
No, that was the first one I felt legitimately, God, fucking betrayed.
Oh.
Well, I mean, it was Metallica. I was like, fuck, man. I'd seen him live for the first time in 2000 at Texas Stadium. And
And Load and Reload were your favorites. Those are the two
Yeah,
that preceded Saint Anger.
and there was a 6-year gap. And Newstead had left the band.
Now, we've played it out here where they actually do justice to that fucking paint drum that Lars was banging on, that he called a snare. We've heard it that way. We've heard people with that added in and remixed a little bit to where the bass is a little bit more up into the mix. What do you think of that version of Saint Anger?
It's fine. But it's like a remake. Like, I know what the original is.
Okay.
And the original, I mean, goddamn, even to this day, there's still some songs like, I do not want to hear that song.
Wow.
There's some I will queue up just out of nostalgia. Frantic's a big one.
As much as I like Death Magnetic, there's a couple on that one that is like, I'm going to have to give it a little bump.
Well, like
bump here.
Unforgiven 3 or something.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
You know what? I will listen to that one out of irony because I'll do 1, 2, and 3. But
The whole trilogy.
that's right. And I guess there's a similar story there, but it's not necessarily as cogent as you might desire.
And in my opinion, Metallica went from having the album that disappointed me the most to the album that I feel like was the greatest apology album of all time.
Death Magnetic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, Death Magnetic. That motherfucker comes on. I am ready to listen to it.
That's where Metallica really kind of throws me a curveball because I like the Black Album as any casual fan should. But I kind of got into it. I was like, man, what are they doing these days? And I listened to Death Magnetic and I went,
you lucky bitch.
Yeah. I was like,
I'm glad it wasn't 2003. You might have been like, well, fuck these assholes.
No, I'm like, well, this is nice. Like 2015, 16?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, God, I love that album.
And then Hardwired came out in, 19? And I thought, whoa, goddamn.
No, that was 2015.
Which
Hardwired to Self-Destruct?
No. We were already doing the podcast and shit out here when that dropped. It dropped November of... It was either 18 or 19, but Death Magnetic was 15.
I think my brain has a problem that it's 2024.
I think it does. And I think it's wrong.
I'm in the early 2000s still. 2016. So I was a year off. If this Price is right, I'd be going up.
Hardwired?
November 18th, 2016.
I know it was November, see, because I knew it was right around fucking turkey time.
77-minute album, and it's a double album?
Yeah.
The fuck?
But anyway.
Never mind, I hate it now.
But nonetheless, and I thought, that's a really great fucking record. Now, how often did I go back and listen to it? Almost never, because it was too fucking long. But I would listen to the last 3 or 4 tracks on it, because those are the ones that kind of would pull me in. But what the hell, man? When 72 Seasons came out, I didn't realize that I was going to then drop the casual thing off my fandom with this fucking band, because that one album
There you go.
pulled me in. And I love the fact that there are so many Metallica fans that hate that album. I'm here to tell you right now, that's the greatest, not the greatest Metallica album ever made. That is the greatest metal album ever made.
Ooh, wow. Goddamn.
Gauntlet fucking thrown down. And I'm sorry if it makes somebody upset, but I'm not really sorry.
Hopefully people are trying to think of something they think is better.
I'm sure, and I'm sure. I know LJ is probably going to have some thoughts on it, but legitimately, and Metallica's closers weren't, I mean, they're always shit that I guess they play on tour, interestingly enough, but they're not usually the strongest track off of an entire album. Well, Inamorata fucking said no. That's the way to close a metal album.
Yeah, but goddamn, it's like Tempest, where it's also, man, if I see these guys live, I highly doubt they're playing the song.
Yeah, but
that's okay. I feel like
you saw them live. Did they play Inamorata? Probably not.
No. Oh God, no! When I saw them,
that was before the release.
This was February 22.
Yeah,
it was a year before 72 Seasons came out.
I keep
that
thinking
motherfucker should have got the ticket for the next year.
Yeah, I keep thinking
the world tour.
I keep thinking actually, I'm 1 year off on your visit out there to see Metallica in Vegas.
Our fucking year clocks are all fucked up.
All fucked up. All right, man. We good on time, or we need to probably think about getting the kids out the exits today?
We should probably get it figured out. By the way, Jay Weinberg, the guy that got kicked out of Slipknot, new drummer for Suicidal Tendencies.
Oh no shit! I didn't realize that.
That
boys are still doing their shit there. So.
No, man, they had the front man. I can't remember his name. Up there, it's like, God damn, he looks exactly the same. He just looks older. That's all.
Yeah. That's a band. I don't know. I haven't thought about Suicidal Tendency. I'll play them once in a while if I'm into like a punk mood out here. I could throw on them and Exploited and Black Flag and probably. Well, it depends on where you fall in the Social D and Corrosion of Conformity shit too. But
yeah. Then in the Corrosion of Conformity, you gotta fucking relay exactly what era you're talking about.
Well, same with Social Distortion. Although I will say this, Social Distortion is they have lovingly embraced kind of what they turned into in the early 90s, and they've not really changed since then. Mike Ness knows what his groove is, and the man does it better than anybody. So.
That is something to be respected, by God.
Oh, well, shit. Okay, there's one honorable mention we need to throw in for this week. Plan Left, and the album is Honor the Struggle. So you might want to check that one out, too. I know we told you about Pelican earlier. If you're wanting a full album endorsement this week, Plan Left. It came out, Honor the Struggle came out in 2021. Yeah, 3 years ago.
Chingao.
So it's not something brand new, but it's another one that might have been off your radar, and I'm sure it was. If you've actually ever dicked around on YouTube and found a guy that does, the one that did the Beatles thing, he's the guy. He is the band Plan Left, I think, with two other dudes. I think.
If you find a video that says "What if Typo Negative did X song?" it's this guy.
That's the guy. That's the boy. Oh, well, shit, man. You got any closing thoughts? Any recommendations? Any endorsements?
Don't step in creamy dog shit.
Well, there's an advantage.
If she says she's okay with it, still get it in writing.
Okay.
That's all I got.
That's it. Okay. Well, that's going to do it for us this time around. That's a strong close right there, huh? All right, assholes. We'll see you in about 2 weeks, huh?
Love you.
Damn, that's a rip.